Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
360 the Poet here, informing you that the scariest show to hit Las Vegas is coming this October to the Arts District. Abandon your fears and enter into our haunted asylum where the mind of the Marquis de Sade, the most notorious writer in history, comes to life. Immerse yourself in Las Vegas's newest haunted show. Join us at Vegas Theater Company in the Downtown Arts District and scream with abandon. Show is R-rated, not suitable for those under 17. Tickets available at abandonvegas.com.
E-Class Consulting. It's owned and operated by Carice, providing tools, training, and resources that are sure to make you and your business even more successful. We are staffed with a marketing, credit, tax, and a real estate consultant. E-Class Consulting also provides a temporary admin service called E-Class Admins. Want to book an appointment with E-Class Consulting? Call 702-518-3002 or email book@eclassconsulting.com. E-Class Consulting, navigating you to greatness.
What's the deal, beautiful people? What's going on? It is Let's Talk Love Wednesday, and I am your favorite prescriber, Miss Love Doctor. What is the deal? Of course, we don't have a voice today. We're going to have a voice. It's coming. It's coming back soon. I guess I'll just be having a wild weekend, and then it'll be what it be. So, my beautiful co-host is not in studio with me today. And y'all make sure y'all drop a heart for her, because I'm sure she'll be in the comments soon. It look like I've been all outside in the wind. She'll be in the comments soon. And we are here on the sexiest station on the planet, Hot 702.5. And are y'all ready to talk some love today? But before we do that, let's give some love to our sponsors, Keys World Tea House of Love. And this is where we repair and restore love from within. And there is essential relationship coaching, reestablishing the foundation of your relationship. And Keys Do Love Mommies, nonprofit organization. We are creating a healthy village of healthy parents so that they can empower and raise healthy children. And we always stand on beat with hair and makeup with Beauty on the Beat. Y'all know she braided me up. She's going to be ready to take these out because she can't stand to see a piece of fuzz. And make sure if you guys want to tune in to comment, love, share, or whatever, 702-551-5261. We love to hear from you. This is a safe space, but you just got to be respectful and keep it classy. Now, I want to bring in my beautiful host with me today. We got the lovely Miss Carice in the building. Mrs. Banks. How you doing?
You know, I'm pretty fantastic. How are you?
I'm so happy you're here with me.
I'm good. Your class is cute, girl.
Thank you. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
Listen, don't try to be like me.
Okay, don't do that.
Because I can't see in real life. Okay. I wish I could wear a whole bunch of... Luckily, I get some glasses that are cute. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'll make them do what it do.
Make it do what it do, but you don't have like a lot of different frames.
No, because they're expensive because the lenses I have to get. So if I didn't get these special lenses, my glasses would be like this thick. So I have to get, they're super expensive.
Okay.
So.
It's less material, so why is it more to make?
It's not. It's like they have to condense the prescrition down.
Smush it down. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I get that.
So, yeah.
So how you feeling? How's your spirits? How's everything? How's your week?
I feel tired. And the only reason why I feel tired is I had a doctor's appointment this week, just a regular checkup. But I had to get like an allergy test and, regular blood tests. So they took like 12 vows.
Yikes.
So I was just...
It's like, do you really need that much? You can't just check one.
Right. Why can't you just half it? You know
Do
what I mean?
one.
Like,
pour it out.
Like, why? Like, why? So anyway, that probably has me a little bit tired.
Gotta get your iron up. They took all your blood.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I mean, am I tired? I don't think I'm tired, but I did have...
You was turning up. This love doctor was outside.
I was a little outside. Mm-hmm. I was kind of proud of myself for being outside, too. Yeah. I was like, this can work. I'll have to drop it. But basically, Miami owes me nothing. Ain't that what people be saying?
That's what they say.
That's what they say. But we did good, though, as far as, like, money. Mm-hmm. Like, you thinking, like, you finna spend some money, you going to Miami. Mm-hmm. So I said I was going to make a post to when the girl was like, so it's $100 a seat, or you guys can buy a bottle. I'm like, what'd you say? She was like, I was like, you talking about these lawn chairs you guys see?
Not the lawn chairs. Not the lawn chairs.
You telling me
where was this? It was on like a beach or something?
It was on Miami Beach, so I already knew that was a thing.
Okay, that's not too bad then. $100. Oh, it's just for the seats, so no drinks. No, like this drink
chair,
minimum.
No, just to be able to sit down. I'm like, girl, I got on wedges. I'm good. But no, we ended up getting a bottle, which was not that bad overall, so it kind of worked out. But it was a good time. I met a DJ out there. He was super, super cool.
Yeah.
We was talking about him coming out here. So.
And did you do what?
He wants to spin a record or two. I told him I host events too. You host events too.
Oh, this is a business transaction?
Wow, that's what we gonna do?
No, I'm just trying to help everybody understand what's really going on. Help
the people know what's going on.
I'm confused. I'm just trying to understand what's really going on
here.
Help
the people understand. We're all kumbaya around here.
I'm just saying.
Where are your outside glasses? What did he say? Mr. Banks said, where are your outside glasses? Those are from home, ma'am.
I broke them. I didn't break them, but they need to be repaired. I already told him.
So who broke them?
No, it's just like the inside part. It just probably time for it to be changed, like the little,
That's it, and that probably is painful.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it was broken. I didn't even notice it was broken. So it must have when I put it down and then it broke, because I went to put them back on and I noticed it right away. And I was gonna take them yesterday, but I didn't.
Them are for home.
These are my bed glasses because they can so that they don't get bent and stuff.
That's so sweet. You want to make sure you got your home glasses at home. Shout out to Mr. Banks.
Yes, shout out to Mr. Banks. He's a winner.
Okay, so I did pull an affirmation for the week.
Okay.
Shout out to MVP Speaks. I meant to write one.
And that stands for Miss Vicky Parker, by the way.
I never knew that.
Yep.
I love that. I love that, Miss Vicky Parker. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to say that when I see her. Mm-hmm. But when I pulled this one, I was like, I just feel like this is true. Like, if you know something that's true about yourself, sometimes you can go with it. But it says, I give the best hugs.
Okay.
And then it says to hug yourself.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You want me to hug myself, too?
Yeah. A little pat. My coworker be like, can I have a hug? I'm like, sure, you can have a hug.
Get that good energy.
So today I had to drag her in on this conversation because we've had plenty of conversations about this. We actually had a really good conversation right before the show. But to be or not to be vulnerable, that is the question. That means, should we be vulnerable? How important is it to be vulnerable? How soon should you be vulnerable? Like, or is being vulnerable even, is it overrated?
I guess it depends on who it's with.
It does depend on who.
And it probably depends on the time of life, of the time that, or the position and time frame that you are in your life. Mm-hmm. Like, am I at a position where I really want to be vulnerable, or I just want to keep it moving on people? Like, I guess that's important.
I think it had to do with age for me, too, because when I was younger, I loved everybody, and everybody's my friend, and you're my friend, and you could be my friend.
And now I got 3 friends. I got 3 friends, and one of them is my husband. Okay.
I was like, oh my God. So that way.
And one of them my sister. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you get to the point where you're like, that those things dwindle. And then you don't know who you can really be transparent and vulnerable with.
Mm-hmm. And see, for me, I used to give everybody the benefit of the doubt right away, and then I had to switch that. So now it's like you get an F minus right away.
Yeah,
And
I
you
think
gotta
that I
work for your
probably still
grade.
give people the benefit of the doubt.
I
I try to, because I try to be like, you know what? If it was me and I felt this way about that, perhaps I would react this way too. You know, I try to give people somewhat.
But I think people also don't give me the benefit of the doubt
I'm not worried about what they do.
But well, when it comes to like work, right? I had a boss that my actual supervisor was like, well, you know, people's perception is their reality. And I was like, what are you talking about? He wanted to tell me, but he couldn't tell me. But all along, this lady's perception of me and what she thought of me was threatening to her.
Mm.
And I probably
seen
her.
Threatening, do you think?
I don't know. I only seen her like 58 minutes at a time. So at shift change. So I really didn't even have anything to do with her. But they said that, of course, the quote was that, you know, she had it out for black women anyway when they came and worked there. So I learned that later on.
Not having it out for black women, though, child.
Oh, yeah. They said I was like number 5. I was like, well, why do y'all keep allowing her to do the stuff that she does? But that's neither here or there. So I know when I was younger, I feel like I was more open to be like, oh, okay, what's up? What's up? I'll let you right on in, you know. And, you know, of course, you play with fire. Sometimes you might get a little burnt. Burnt it. But, I guess we can dig into what vulnerability even means. Mm-hmm. Because if we know what it means, then we can figure out if this is something that we really need.
Who's we?
Me.
Oh,
you.
okay. Oh, no.
Me
You said
you.
it right. You said it right in the first place. You did.
What's up, She? She said you have to feel 100% safe to be vulnerable. 100%. So do you think that there is a sliding scale?
To be vulnerable?
Yeah. You feel 25% safe. It's like, okay, I'll be vulnerable.
I guess it just depends, like, at what point you are. Who can I be vulnerable with? Like, and about what?
Ooh, that's heavy. And about what?
Yeah, because it's like, can I tell, let's just say, like, I have I don't know, let's just say people have a relationship issue. Who can I tell about this and know that it's not going to come back up?
It's going to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My therapist.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
That's it and that's all. Huh?
Because otherwise it may very well come back up in some shape or form.
Yeah. But we talk about it and it's thrown around so much. So it's like, all right, with the definitions that I came up with, it says exposure plus resistance plus resilience equals vulnerability.
Okay.
So I guess putting yourself out there to be exposed. Mm-hmm. You might have a little bit of resistance, but you still have some resilience. Mm-hmm. And that's vulnerability. I wanted it to break it down a little bit more, but I just went and found another definition. So the one says the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. Mm-hmm. What does that even mean? Like, what are we doing with that?
Every time we get on the plane, you just got on the plane this weekend, didn't you? You made yourself vulnerable for the plane to fall out the sky, child. But you made it. You're here today with us.
Where do you get these analogies from? Where did you get that one from? But it says attacked or harmed.
Okay,
physically and
people
emotionally.
Have definitely been attacked and harmed on airplanes, and you still got on there.
So we're vulnerable every time we walk out the door.
We're vulnerable. We're vulnerable right here, right now. Door locked, child. I got a gat in here. We still vulnerable. Something could happen. I don't know what could happen.
I was like, that feels pretty safe to me. But things can happen. I get that.
We got glass windows.
But that's the same thing we were saying about everything else. Things can happen, right? And that's what makes us be guarded. That's what makes us like to a place where it's like, I don't necessarily want to be guarded like that. I don't want to be vulnerable like that. The quality of being easily harmed or attacked. Like, there's 3 different ones talking about easily being harmed or attacked.
I mean, I think kids are vulnerable. Like, everybody is vulnerable in some sense, but it's like, are you okay with waking up every day and getting on the road? to go wherever you're going. How did you feel when you drove here? Did you feel safe? Did you feel like your car was safe?
Yeah.
You just had some repair on your car. You feel like that was safe?
We had to test it out. We had to test that thing out.
And you did. And you don't know if the wheels was going to fall off on your way or anything, but you're here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I feel like we put ourselves in certain situations to be vulnerable. But when we're, I think that we react to being vulnerable when it's something that we know could hurt us emotionally.
Mm-hmm. Not so much
like
physically.
Like physical stuff, we're like, all right, cool, I'll jump out of this plane. I'm good with that.
For real.
You're like, let me just.
They just dive off a cliff into the water. I want to do that.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so if I break a leg, it's whatever. You know, I can just.
But the emotional one is on a whole nother level.
Because that one's painful. I feel like that's. I remember this dude named Andrew Tyree. He's a poet, and he wrote this poem called "The Deepest Pain I Ever Felt," and he was talking about. This
it is deep,
man, and this poem right here, it was something else. But he was talking about this wife having a kid with someone else.
That's pretty deep.
And it was just like he basically had, the love of his life, two of them, and find out that neither one of them are the love of my life, the kid or the wife.
Oh no, yeah, that is deep.
So, I mean, I think that, you have more pain when it comes to emotions than, like, physical pain. So people try to protect themselves from being emotionally harmed. And I've been guilty of that, too.
Mm-hmm.
So in various aspects, whether it be friendships, relationships, family members. Like, you have a family member pass away, like, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm like, whew, I don't want to feel that anymore.
And then you shut down. You just shut all the way down. Yeah, that is, I think you're right on point with it, because we do put ourselves, like you just said, anything in the car, all that's the physical portion. But that emotional one, you be like, so you want to, do you know what you did to do you know how that felt? Mm-hmm. You hurt my feelings?
Right.
Like, to be having your feelings hurt in your 40s is just dumb.
To have your feelings hurt, period, okay? Because I definitely had my feelings hurt in my 30s. And sorry, Mr. Banks. Okay. I had my feelings hurt, and I feel like I was going to die, child. I thought the life was over.
Yeah.
And because of that, I was not able to completely, like, be open to another relationship in a full capacity until now.
Yeah.
Like, it just...
But it took time.
It took me to be able to just be like, you know what, you're doing that. And I was talking about this before the show. We were talking about, like, when did I say, you know what, I'm gonna be vulnerable? And it wasn't until my now husband was stalking me via text message, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna let it just be. And when I said that, I released the wall that I had.
Let it down, huh?
And I said, hey, whatever's going to happen. And listen, stuff happens, child. Okay? And you have to make a decision whether you either are going to, let it break whatever it is you were trying to establish.
Break every chain.
Or you're going to, go back to being guarded. So
I think for me, did you do any self-reflection beforehand?
Therapy.
Like, you sat and looked at yourself and was like, this is what, like, I sat with myself. It was like, I think this last quarter was about self-reflection anyway.
I definitely have reflected.
And I think it showed me the lack of vulnerability, but it also showed me why. Mm-hmm. But it showed me where it was probably negative in my life too. Mm-hmm. Because you're so guarded, you don't really have a lot of people that are that close.
I had a lot of people who thought they were close enough, and they were close enough, but not to that point. Like, I definitely have dated people, prior to, and it has just been an experience. It wasn't really like I'm dating this person, because potentially this person can be my lifelong partner.
Right.
Like, I was not even in that space. So I just think that, it just depends on who it is, But yes, I definitely did some reflection when I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what happens with this. And then I'm going to let go of the other people that may be distracting me from pursuing this situation.
Yeah. Like, so putting it out there, putting the words into a play. He said, now look at you all married and stuff.
I can't. Let me look at these dang comments.
All married up. I love that. But I do believe in manifestation for sure. And I think when you're in a place to put yourself out there and be like, okay, I'm okay with this, then it's a difference. But when you are not, you are not. And it's so interesting because over the years, people would say like, you're so closed off. And nobody could tell me what that meant. Because in my mind, I didn't think I was closed off. Right? Until I was with someone and I realized how soft and sensual I was being with that person. That I realized that I allowed myself to open up to them. But I feel like they were showing me something to allow me to open up to them as well.
Yeah, I think that it has to be a safe space in both ways. But at sometimes, like, I don't know if it's Sean. I'm sorry, I don't know the spelling of the name. Sheon. Okay, so Sheon says that you have to feel safe. And how do you know you feel safe if you don't just, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going on a first date and like, oh, I'm safe, I'm going to spill all the tea. You don't do that. So you have to make a choice. Like, am I going to be vulnerable and then whatever happens with this happens? Or if I'm going to wait and let this person build up, me being vulnerable and then going from there. So I don't know. It just, what you got to pick what you're going to do. Because if we like, I think that when you establish regular friendships, and then you say, you know what, I'm going to see how this person is with information to see what I could share with them, right? But I don't
pop quiz,
or like, if I tell this person this, are they going to tell their other best friend? You know what I mean? So with the friendships, you're like that. But if you're going into a relationship, or you're going into a situation where you're like, you know what, I really like this person, we'll give him a chance. Are you really going to wait forever to be vulnerable until you feel completely safe to be vulnerable with them in any capacity?
I think what you said earlier has a lot to do with it, is the fact that we're in a society where somebody is already dating somebody else. So you don't want to, I can't speak of anybody else, but I don't want to just jump and be like, okay, well, I'm just going to see where this goes if these aren't even the type of conversations that we're having. Because we know that it's a possibility you're still doing you, so I'm going to give you that space. Versus saying, like, let me just see where this goes and hope for the best.
Like, doing you. Ugh.
You know people be doing them.
I know.
People have selfish agendas.
I was doing me. Okay, listen, I was doing me. I understand the whole situation of doing me, but I think that when you get in a situation where you're like, you know what, I like this person. Are you still doing you? How long is it going to take for you to not do you?
I don't know. But what if they're being honest? Like, listen, I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
Then don't date them.
So don't date them. What if it's fun?
No. What are you dating them for?
Is all dating need to be for a
purpose?
Long haul purpose?
No,
but I thought,
are we calling it dating?
Didn't 360 just say that you kiss a lot of toads?
Listen,
he just said that
because he was a toad. That's why. Okay, he is. Listen, what I'm saying is that
exclusively dating.
Listen, and this is one thing that I can definitely tell you. In being in a situation where or the guy you're dating, they know if they want to marry or pursue you within the first couple dates. It does not take them 6 months. It does not take them 7 months, 10 years, 5 years, whatever. They know. You know. When you meet somebody, that's probably the one right there. So you have to make a decision at that point. Am I going to continue to do this stuff with these other people, or if I'm going to be completely vulnerable and allow myself to, be innate with this person.
I don't know if I met nobody like that, and I was like, "This is the one."
You ain't let yourself. And
I was thinking hard too, like.
And I'm gonna tell you the time that I allowed myself to just be. I'm telling you.
Now you married?
Mr. Banks was friggin' texting me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. And I left it. Listen, our first date, I left the date and went on a date with him. Literally left the date, got in the car, drove to the date with him. And I knew during that date, I'm like, oh, this dude trying to get married. And he might be.
Was it what he was saying or what he was doing?
Both. And it wasn't like, you know how with somebody gassing you. He definitely was trying to be extra and gas a little bit, right? But I could tell that his effort was going to be. He was going to have exceptional effort because he started the date off with effort. Started the date off with giving me gifts of my favorite things. And mind you, we had never met before. We'd only text, for a week or so, prior to, just to talk. So, So, I went on that date with him. I never went on a date with the other guy ever again.
But
here we are.
But he showed you that what his intentions were. I think that's the difference. A lot of times I
don't even know if he knew what his intentions were completely.
You knew. You said you knew. He's trying to get married.
I knew, but I don't know. I think that for him.
Did you know, Mr. Banks?
I feel like for him, I think that he knew that he had to do something to really get me, but he wasn't for sure if I was ready to receive that and if he was ready to receive it either.
Receive what? What you had to give?
Both.
Okay.
So I think that he definitely was gonna put forth his whole effort, okay, to make it happen, like to get to that point. But he wasn't completely sure that I wasn't dating someone else. He wasn't sure that I was gonna be completely vested in this. So there was a time where I had to be like, hey, you gonna take me on a date or what? Like, what's going on? So just to kind of shake him up and remind him, like, hey, I'm here. We ready or not?
Mm-hmm. But was he speaking in a way that lets you know that he was ready to be in a committed monogamous relationship?
Well, I'm not monogamous, although he is, right? So I don't even know if I think that. So we only were, let's just say we officially were in a relationship when we got engaged.
Okay.
So it wasn't a whole lot of, like, before. We dated for a while, and we may have dated other people. But it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? You should probably set them people free if we're going to do this.
So you applied pressure.
No, because he was already talking marriage. He was already talking about certain things. We were already having these types of conversations. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, you know what? We probably, I'm like, yeah, if you got some unfinished business, you probably should take care of that. Because I had to take care of mine too. Sorry, Mr. Banks.
But you took care of it.
And it's what it is.
It was taken care of.
Right. So,
I think that's kind of weird saying the same thing, because I'm asking these specific questions because I feel that his intentions were to pursue you. Mm-hmm. So most times people...
Oh, he definitely was trying to pursue me, but marry me is different.
You're right.
Yeah, plenty of people have tried to pursue me. But were you trying to marry me, or are you just trying to go on dates with me? Or are you trying to just be like, oh, I can go out with Carice and she can be my date to this and that? Or was there an end game here? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I like that he knew that that's what he wanted to do, though.
Did he answer that question? I don't know.
Because you said he was already talking marriage. He was
definitely having those types of conversations.
He was coming with it. So the different types of vulnerability, of course, physical was the first one, is basically meaning a potential physical impact and physical harm or in your physical environment. according to James
like
Madison
are we
College.
saying like having someone come to your place? What are you talking about exactly?
I don't know. I just got this definition. What I think they're talking about, because of the type of article that it was, is physical harm, but it can be within the environment that you're in. So kind of like, say, like a more urban area, there is more, how society says it. But if you're in a space of like where there's hurricanes, so you're in an environment where there can be a physical impact on you, because they did a ratio at the bottom of the article of different types of vulnerabilities in the impacts that each event could make. I was going to add that, but it was a little too much. And then we had economic vulnerability. It could be a hazardous economic asset and processes with business being interrupted, loss of job, things like that. Like my girl at work had it out for the black people, so I was hella vulnerable because I didn't even know that I was.
But what are
in
we saying
danger.
in terms of relationships with those things? Like, are you saying like, can you be vulnerable about economics with your partner or someone you're dating?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a very tough conversation.
And if you were to be in a relationship and one person was to lose said income.
I literally just had, shout out to Shady Ass Tea if y'all missed it last night. It's on repeat. It's on my page on Facebook, 7 p.m. Sir and I were talking about that, about we were talking about the guy paying for everything, or if we're going 50-50. And we're not doing 50-50. We're not. It's not. And Sir's like, absolutely not. You know, he's like, no, I'm a provider. You know, in my house. But I think that you have to have the conversation that in the event that something happens, can you trust this person enough to make sure everything is good? You know, can they save the space? And I was talking about, I was watching this clip with this older guy, and his wife must have just passed away.
I seen it. Oh, you sent it to me.
Did I? And
he
was like, and he said that his wife is the manager of the house. And I was like, you know what?
He said, what, pay a bill? You talking about, did she pay any bills? No,
like,
she ain't pay no bills.
Right. He was like, you know, the money went there and she took care of it. He's like, but no, I provided for that. And she used her money for whatever she wanted to use the money for. And that was a win. Really loved that clip.
It was the way he worded it, and he was passionate about what he was saying too. He was like, she might go get a pair of shoes or something like that.
Right.
I was like,
he's like, maybe if we get a car, we'll
sweet.
talk about it. He's like, but you know, it's whatever.
Not one bill. He said she can't pay no bills. And I think that we have gotten it so mucky with, what do you bring to the table? How, you know, what can you provide? Like, I'm a human being, first of all. Let's start there. And then it's like, what else? What don't you think? I have a table already. Because I have to eat anyway. So that conversation.
And do you have a table? And are you inviting me to come eat?
And how many chairs do you have? What's the meal that's going to be on the table? Then social vulnerability, the impact of events, single parent households, parenting, pregnancies, handicapped children. Like, something can happen to put you in that space.
Don't put that out in the air.
I'm just, these
I know
are their examples.
I know you read, child.
Because you don't want that. You don't want that. You want healthy children.
And that can definitely be.
And you need healthy parents. Because, baby, let me tell you.
And if you don't, you need your healthy self to go to therapy.
Yeah, everyone should go. Environmental, and this is the impact of events happening. They just said it twice, and then I added an extra one, which was sexually, because I think that it's important for us to realize that that's a level of vulnerability too, regardless of
most definitely.
If you just super promiscuous. I know people be like, oh, we have sex and it's not physical, but you still putting yourself in some type of risk of harm and or danger. But not even that, like, take it on a whole nother level is the fact that, can you allow yourself to really let your guard down to fully enjoy it and be in the moment? Or do you be, or be in your head?
I mean, I think that, women, we process things a little bit differently than men do. So we're thinking about all types of stuff
too much.
Man, like random stuff don't have nothing to do with anything, and then we can't turn it off. It's just there. So you almost have to like push yourself past it so that you can process it. But it's a lot of times guys don't understand that. And even if it's in situations where maybe your partner did something and now you are picturing that in your head every time you're trying to be intimate with that person, and you have to like push past that, you know, that hurt thought. Or that thought. Yeah, because we take a mental photo. We got a whole photo album in his head, and it's swipes.
Like a Rolodex.
It's like a swipe. You swipe through.
But I think especially when you tell someone that you're having sex with, like, make me talk to you. Like, you have to get in my head so I can get out of my head. Because if you don't bring me into it mentally, my body's into it. But if you don't pull me into it mentally, that it's probably not gonna. The big O's probably not gonna happen. The big O.
The big O should happen every single time.
It should. It should. It's not always. It doesn't happen all the time though. But it does.
Just wait till you find the next guy that's gonna be your husband. Just wait.
Okay, husband, where you at? So to be able to allow you to touch me in ways that I've never been touched, because that's true. If you're not vulnerable during sex, there's still so much that you haven't even allowed to happen. Even though you did it. You did the nasty, but
I don't know if that has to do with complete vulnerability or you just being shy. I don't know
but if you're being shy, I think they're the same.
You think?
Yeah, because it's like I consider myself shy, even though people don't believe me. But
you backing that thing up? Is that what you're trying to tell us? Is that what you're trying to tell us, Tasha?
No, what I'm trying to say is, am I totally being completely vulnerable? Because it might be like, oh my God, like, you don't want to let yourself completely go with this person, or you don't even know, like, you got, like, probably some bona fide freaky shit that you want to do, but just like, he's probably not the one for me to do that with.
Then he ain't the one. He ain't the one. So keep it moving. When you have those first instincts about those types of things, like if you feel like, you know what, I don't think I could do that with him. He ain't the one. Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
I'm dead serious. If you already, like, for me, like, I feel like when my body is sacred, right? So, I definitely did not share that part of me with other men for decades, okay?
You're like, no.
So, lucky for Mr. Banks, it's brand new, it's fresh for him. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, like, what if I had just been like, whatever?
Yeah.
And then, I might have, I don't know how many, what do they call it now? How many, damn it, what is it called? What do they call them? Bodies, yeah.
How many bodies?
I mean, what if I was just like, whatever, it's whatever.
Just body for Jane.
I'm just out here with bodies on bodies.
Like, oh my God, because every single time, Christine said, keep it moving, 100. What's going on, y'all? So how vulnerable are you guys? Are you, like, open to being vulnerable? Are you a little bit guarded? Or are you just like, I'm going to just love and see what happens?
Yeah.
So is it a strength or a weakness?
To do what? To be vulnerable?
To be vulnerable.
Well, technically, they say it's a weakness, but I don't believe so. I think that you could appear as weak being vulnerable to some people who are not vulnerable.
Or to someone who is praying.
But also, too, is it transparent and vulnerability?
Because isn't like the tiger going after a bunny or something?
I mean, people are going to try to do whatever they're going to do.
Okay.
People may try to expose you for whatever reason. Have them sign a non-disclosure. But people are going to try to, I don't know. I don't think that I live in a place where I'm like, I'm going to hold this in. I believe in transparency because I believe it could be helpful to other people. No matter what the circumstance. Like if it's something, although I may not go into deep detail about something, but if it's something that I experienced that I think that would be valuable to someone else, like I'll share that, with whomever and not worry about a repercussion because I'm like, I'm sharing this just because I want to share this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I live in a space where I'm like, I don't know if I want to say this, or I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I am.
Why?
Because it's like it's layers to it. You know, it depends on what we're talking about and who we're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. There's certain people that, like we were like 360 show, who used to be in my life that I don't feel like they need any access to it.
Yeah,
so you don't need to know. You don't need to.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as be vulnerable with everyone, you said, know what people, you know where people's space is in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, there's family members that I don't speak to anymore because they were seasonal.
Clearly.
Okay, like listen, that season is over. I love you, and
love you a long time,
and that's it. Like that, it just, I don't think it stops with whomever. It could be a friendship, it could be a relationship. Sometimes people's marriages, they're seasonal. Sometimes you have a kid with someone that is a seasonal person, and you know, perhaps that person no longer serves you.
And so, now y'all got a kid,
which is probably a beautiful thing. But because you go in it and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm gonna be with this person forever, you assume that person's not a seasonal partner.
Like, this is definitely long term.
Yeah, but it is long term, just not in that capacity.
Not forever. Well, according to James Madison University, they said vulnerability is not weakness. It's the core of your emotions and feelings. And if we prevent ourselves from being vulnerable, we foreclose on experiencing our emotions. Our attempts to prevent shame, embarrassment, and sadness also prevents us from experiencing love, belonging, joy, and empathy. Because I was like, I better look up a definition, because if we only talk about my opinion, it was going to be a different way. And so Jen said, definitely guarded, trying to be more open. I'm a work in progress. Hey, it's nothing wrong with us working on ourselves every day, B. Christine said, I'm going to love you from a distance. I use the analogy of putting people in boxes. Sometimes I choose the box. Sometimes they do. I operate with the people inside of that box, and that's it.
I have a question, though, because I really kind of want to do a poll on this. So is Christine married?
Christine is not married.
Is Christine in a relationship?
Christine is in a relationship.
So is it like a long time or is new?
Christine, you need to call in.
702-551-5261. 702-551-5261. It's actually also too on the bottom of the screen.
Sophia, Jen, you in a relationship? Are you married? And when y'all call in or whatever y'all gonna do, I'm gonna say that they said vulnerability is a strength. It is essential to recognize the vulnerability is not a weakness, but a sign of strength, to accept and embrace it as a part of a human experience. By building trust, cultivating self-compassion, and practicing gratitude, we can regain our tolerance from vulnerability and experience the joys of life. So it's like, okay, I'm going to just go and live and just kick it willy-nilly, because if you are not vulnerable, I could see that, though. I could really see that, because you are lacking the experiences of what you could possibly have. Like this guy told me, I'd rather love and lost than never love at all. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, love and hurt. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm there yet.
You may not.
She said she working. Jen said she in a situation.
See, that's not it. That's what I'm saying.
That's not it. So that's not who you be vulnerable with.
I definitely have been in a situationship with people, right? But I think that when I told myself I am going to be completely vulnerable and let this be,
you allowed it.
I ended up with a surprise wedding, child.
You sure did. It was lit too.
Okay, what I'm saying is that I had to tell myself, okay, I'm being free.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not gonna allow all this other stuff that I'm questioning, because I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it 100
or not. No,
I will talk myself in and out of a whole situation. I will talk myself all the way in, and by the end of it, I'm all the way 100% out. Like, nah, I'm cool. And that's not the good part. That's the part that's like, I get where 360 was like, you not even giving it a chance. And I was like, I'm not denying it. Mm-hmm. I'm a work in progress, like Jen. But a lot of times, your instinct be on point, too. So it's like, why wouldn't I listen to myself? Because the last time I didn't listen, this is what happened. Mm-hmm. So it's like, be transparent with you, too. Like, you probably know this is probably not going to be a good thing.
You know from the first time you hang out with somebody whether or not this going to be a good idea or not.
I'm talking about before the hangout.
Okay, y'all chit-chatting. He like WYD.
Yeah.
You know when you got that message, you like, you know what? He ain't
this ain't going to work out.
So why even proceed? Why even proceed with it? Just listen. I think that we need to first of all go off of our true instincts, and we know from the beginning this one ain't the one. So let it be. Don't let that be the one. Don't let that be the one to waste your time.
Is it really wasting your time?
Yes.
Are you having a good time?
Okay, let's talk about women. Okay, and
because only reason why I say that is if
and wasting time.
You're not dating with intention either. Like, what if you're not ready for a relationship?
The problem is that most women are dating someone because they like them enough to move to the next level. That's our desire, is to date someone that's gonna take us to the next level. Okay, what happens is that we realize that these ain't okay, and unfortunately, because they're not ready to do that with you, we settle and say, oh, we're going to be in this situationship with this person. Whatever he do over there is cool. Whatever I do over here is cool. And then we're never going to create this 100% vulnerability. We're never going to be transparent with each other. It's just going to be a hangout. He a good time. I'm a good time. It's whatever, which is completely not what we want to do.
But I think sometimes it is.
How long?
How long? For me, I can honestly say for some years. Right now, we're working on something different.
Right now, would you?
But I can honestly say
at this moment, when you leave the station right now, if you walked into someone and y'all just bumped each other on the way out, and you just was like, oh, okay, are you going to allow yourself for this? Are you going to allow this dude to sweep you off your feet?
I'm open to it. Yes.
100%.
I'm working on 100%. I got to be honest with myself, right? Remember, we are working on this. Because I knew when I was guarded. I knew why I was guarded. So now that it's like I had to put myself through my own healing process to get to a place to be okay to date someone.
Correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. So when people are like, I thought you were okay with being single. I was, because I needed to be single. I did, because I wasn't in a healed space. So for me to work on myself, I can now slowly allow myself to get out there. It doesn't have to be fast.
Why doesn't it?
But if it happens,
because that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you is this,
we have these conversations all the time.
It happens fast, and you'd be like, "Shit, I didn't know it was gonna be this fast." Right?
But that's organically though.
And that's exactly how all your relationships should be. If you are in a situationship and you got to text this dude and wait for him to leave his other chick house so y'all can go hang out and do whatever, or if you even have to think about if
he's not the one,
don't. If you are in a situation right now, okay,
I feel like they all situations.
No. They're not, unfortunately.
They're not all. Well, let's not say all. That's a big word. I can tell you this
because I have been in situationships, and then I have been swept off my feet first date. And I understand now that what my expectation is of dating was not what it really should be.
Right.
I allowed a lot of things to slide. I allowed this person not to communicate with me on a consistent basis every day. I allow myself to do the same. Because I'm like, I'll just hit him up whenever.
Yeah.
I allowed myself to create that distance.
At that time, were you ready to...
I could have been.
Or were you at a place where you're like, nah?
No, I could have been. I could have been ready, but that person wasn't the one. I knew that from the first date.
True. I
knew from the first... listen.
And it's like they most times people think like... They're just this magical person, and I get that. You're wonderful. Just like I may not be the one for you, but at the same time, we usually know.
But how long do you let that go? Like, how long do you are you with someone and you're like, you know what, I want this to potentially be what I desire it to be, but unfortunately, that's not the person that it's supposed to be with. Mm-hmm. And how long do you let that go on?
I think for me personally, until I'm intentional about doing something different. I'm intentional about pursuing.
My point exactly.
Right? So, but like I said before, I'm just now to the place of like pulling the blinders down. Like, okay, maybe I need to step out of my comfort zone. And that has a lot to do with a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, beforehand, I was like, nah, I'm cool. I know I had a guard up. Like, there was no secret about it. But before, I didn't think that I was like off-putting too. Mm-hmm. That's the part I didn't get. I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, what are y'all talking about? I'm like
closed off.
I'm like this like, free-spirited person.
I don't really like you. I just like you on the days that we go somewhere.
Yeah, we're cool.
Sophia says that she doesn't disagree, but she disagrees not closing any doors, but enjoying the luxury of meeting new people. I think you get into that space, right? You get into a space where you're like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm dating. I'm meeting new people. Because I had to get to that point.
Even just opening to meeting new people. I had to get to that point,
yes, to even listen. This and that's how I even started dating. Dude slide in my DM, and I have to tell myself. Matter of fact, I remember dude slid in my DM. I was in Mexico, and he was like, "Hey, when you get back, will you come, have dinner with me at my show?" And I remember saying to myself, "You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
just have to say it."
I had to just be like, cool. Like, because otherwise I would have been like, we can do something else. Like, or I can just meet up. We can just meet up at the bar.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, we just, like, because now he's asking me on a date, and I'm telling myself, I'm going to go on a date. I'm not going to meet you at the bar. So now I'm transitioning this into potentially this is going to be something else.
Something else. Yeah.
So, and then too, like, even, who my husband is now, even though he was stalking me on social media, and, I posted a picture, he says, and he replied, it happened to be his birthday, and was like, you're so beautiful, whatever. And I'm like, all right, thank you. And then I ended up having to give him my number for, business. And then he stalked me legit after that. But he had already asked me on a date.
Intentional.
He asked me on a date. And I said, yep, I'm going to go. And when I got to that date, I knew this dude trying to do something else. He's not just trying to date me like everyone else. He doesn't want to be like everyone else. He doesn't want to be my situationship.
He's showing you something different.
So I think that we have to allow people to show you something different. Because I think that I probably, too, have been in situations where I kind of made the situation stagnant based off of how I responded.
That's true. That is very true.
Because I wasn't trying to do all that.
I'm not putting that much energy into something that I don't feel you putting into it.
Yeah.
But they like, okay, well, I'm not going to put none in it because...
Right, so now you're both going back and forth like who is going to do this? Who's going to put the energy in? But from the beginning when you meet someone whether it's going to be what it is. And of course you should be out there and you should meet new people. But when you meet someone and you really think that like, hey, you know what? This one might be it. Be vulnerable. Let them know you like them, men and women. Let them know, hey, you know what? I like you. I want to go out with you again. Like, hey, I liked when we talked. And then, too, that's another thing we do before we get off this, okay? Why do we wait to text somebody? Why do we wait to communicate with them? Like, people are like, oh, well, I'm just going to wait and see if he texts me.
If you want to text.
Just say, hey, I was thinking about you. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what? When we went out last week, I really liked that, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, why do we do that? It's like we're waiting because we don't want to put ourselves out there too much.
We don't
want to let them know we like them too much. Mm-mm. So we got to wait a couple of days and then we got to stop
playing games.
We got to stop doing
games. Listen, this conversation is good and it could go so much further, but we got to go. I thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Mrs. Banks. for coming in, blessing us with some. Because, you know, she's married now, so she's done it. She's manifested it. So, ladies, y'all better pick up on what she's saying. But
listen, I'm not an expert, and I am still learning.
But you are living it.
I am, and every day I'm learning something new. And all I can say is, listen, all of us, every day we are growing, we're learning something new. And just allow yourself to experience it.
Baby steps.
That's it.
All right, till next week. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.